this song I had the great pleasure of writing with Mr. Michael McDonald. Kenny Loggins, everybody. There have been times in my life I've been wondering why. Still somehow I believe we'd always survive. Now I'm not so sure you waited to hear just what good reason to try. What more can I say? But what's left to provide? You think maybe it's over, not if you don't want it to be. I'm going for a sign, a miracle. Well, stand up and fight, sing it out tonight. This is it. Yeah. Lay down and stay where you are. This is it. Your back's to the corner. This is it. Don't pay your food anymore. This is it. The waiting is over. Nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide. Time for wondering why. It's here. The moment is now. About to decide. Let them believe them behind, but keep me near your heart. And know whatever I do, I'll be there by your side. You said, baby, it's over, only if you want it to be. Here's your miracle. Stand up and fight. This is it. Ain't no mistake where you are. This is it. You wanna go further. This is it. I want you to open and down. No one can tell you for you know. You made the choice of how to go. It's not up to me this time. You know, there was a day in their life. It's make no mistake when you are. You're going over. This is it. What you surrender. This is it. Won't wait for another. This is it. No one can tell what the future holds. Nobody can tell. Nobody knows. You make a choice somehow. You leave me on the torch of your life. No one can tell what the future holds. Tell what you know. Come on and see what the future holds. You make a choice somehow. It's up to you and you and you and you and you and you. Kenny Loggins, everybody. Kenny Loggins. Sorry. I love you, buddy. The great Kenny Loggins, everybody.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just. I greet all of you who have the hunger and thirst for true righteousness. I greet you all with the greeting words of peace. May Allah's salam alaikum. Beg your pardon? Just a moment. We always like to show you that everything that we teach you and do with you is written. It's just like, I know you're not used to hearing Muslims singing and that kind of thing. You don't find that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's job was different than mine. His job was to raise me. My job is to raise everybody else. So, he didn't even have time to spend arguing and going on with you because he wasn't really here to spiritually resurrect anyone but me. All of the spiritual knowledge that is in anybody, that's all in the head. You see? And so I'm here to meet you not as the man of sin have met you. He taught you to believe in the rightness of the Bible over here in the West. And over in the East, they teach you to believe in the rightness of the Holy Quran. But then after they get you to, to believe in that those books are divine books, then they put their own understanding on the book and have you indirectly worshiping and bowing down to them while you think you are bowing down to God. It's like a person telling you that, like when we was growing up, if one of our siblings might have said, Daddy said so-and-so. And what he meant for us to do was to go and do this. Well, if you trusted him to tell you what Daddy meant, well, you was no longer following Daddy's instruction. You was following your sibling in the name of Daddy. Do you understand? Who used Daddy's name to shield his guidance, his misguidance. Well, that's what white people over here in the West have done. They used the name of Jesus to shield their misguidance of us. And I have to put it like that because that's the way it is. Sometimes we people think that because you point out, it's just like these people that go out and murder a lot of people, and then the news reporter or the police and everybody starts pointing out that it was a male Caucasian, or a male black man, or a black male, or and then later on they publish his name. Well, it ain't had nothing to do with what color he was or what his name was. They just identifying the person that they're talking about. It ain't nothing personal about because he white or because he black. It's because he's the one who did the crime and they describing him to you. Do you understand? So ain't no sense in you getting trying to get your back up. Anybody ever had a dog, they know what that means. And since you trying to get your back up just because I'm pointing out that white people are the one that been misleading us in religion. The slave didn't have no knowledge of religion. They took all that from us. They didn't let our parents that they brought over here and stole out of Africa. They didn't let them teach us nothing. Everything we got in the way of religion, we got it from the slave master. Then he started teaching us that that he did us a favor. He made it look like we didn't have nothing over in Africa. If we didn't have nothing over there, what'd he come over there and steal us for? He had a people that he found over here with nothing but tents. So if all he wanted was people to do his work, he didn't have to go way to Africa. He had the Native American. How come he didn't enslave him and breed him and take his children and do that? Because they told you how old them pyramids are. They told you that the Sphinx is over 10,000 years old. And if you look at the Sphinx, you see it had the face of a black man on that. Oh, you look at, if the Sphinx is guarding the pyramids and it's got the black man's face, well, who built the pyramids? And what did he find inside of those pyramids? You saw the king Tutankhamun, as they said, the exhibit of all of them trinkets that they found in there, gold and that kind of thing, fashioned and things that they could not see how that could have been done all them years ago, right? So you through lying to us. I'm not going to let you lie about our history no more. We had civilization while this man was in the cave. And he came over there and first he promised us gold. That's why he tell that lie talking about our people sold us. No, he promised us gold if we would come here and help him build up a civilization. And once the king came over here to see what was happening, well, you know how a snake swallows his prey head first. What did the scripture say? No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, meaning take his property and do what he please with that man's property unless he first bind that strong man. Huh? Do you honestly think that the black man would send his people someplace before he go check out where he's sending them? And once they got the king over here, it was just a matter of the king the king sent us back to bring some of you architects and some of the rest of you all over there. He told us to come back and get you. And something started smelling fishy, and that's when they start just coming over there hunting you down and hunting us down and after they murdered so many. But you don't have to, that's the one thing about math. And they use math in solving problems right now. It's called circumstantial evidence, solving for the unknown. A good detective, like you know, as they boast of Sherlock Holmes. You know, I assume he was a real person. But anyway, the man was very good at reverse engineering crime scenes. Huh? And so, likewise, the circumstantial evidence. You know, even right now, they still use some of that on people. Look what they talked about when Donald Trump was running for president, how he promised people that they was going to make so much money working for him. And then when they got over there, he gave them a half maybe of what he promised. And then threatened and took their visas, and they was doing, you know, they was taking people's visas and all that kind of stuff to keep them in that subservient position. Lying to them, promising them things, and by the time they get over there, they discover that they've been lied to. Huh? I mean, this is not, I tell you what, any of you all that say I'm not telling the truth, come on in here. They had that stuff on the news. You know, you ain't got no new tricks to run on nobody. You just running the same old game. You just like an old has-been pimp. Using the same old tired line, the same old, you know, he done got old now and lost all of his oomph, or whatever you want to call it. And so he's sitting up trying to run the same game on new people. And it just ain't gonna work no more. Look at you. You don't even realize your mind already taking you backwards. I told you that was gonna happen. You're not gonna fight me. Only thing you doing now is the whole world getting a chance to see what's in your wicked heart. What's that woman name say if it was a lynching that she would attend it? What's her name? Cindy Hyde Smith. She got the right middle name. Hyde. That remind me of that movie, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Who? Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde was a low down something, wasn't he? Anyway, but he was the same person, wasn't he? Mr. Hyde was the one that was hidden in the heart of Jekyll. Huh? And so, well, Jekyll and Jackal sound the same, huh? A jackal is a wild dog, right? On the outside of, yeah. You know, and even the dog, he got a kin that he sometimes wished that he could be as tough as, and that's that wolf. Is that right? Yeah. So I don't. I want you to listen to what I have to share with you. I don't say things that I don't have any purpose for saying. And, you know, as I was telling you, I'm here to undo what we did to white people. I'm here to give them a chance to get that cursed mind off of them. We only put it on them to get me here. Now that I'm here, we don't need them to do that work no more. That's why they was told that in the Sabbath day, stop working, because the Lord will be here and then you get in trouble for working. And if you don't think you get in trouble for working, you ask some of them that came in here, go look at some of them that came in here disrespecting me when I told them that I done had enough of them. Yeah, you go travel in the earth and see what was the end of the rejectors. Yeah, that's where you do that. So now, and all you people that's from Missouri out there, if you think that I'm just selling wolf tickets, come on in here and do your thing. And I'll show you that I don't sell wolf tickets. I know what authority I have, and I'm not afraid to exercise it. So I offered you peace. I offered you redemption. If you don't want it, well, okay. You ain't been good enough for me to beg you. You done fell in love with the evil you've been doing? Well, okay. And it's what the book say, he that is filthy, let him be filthy still. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. What you think that's saying? That's just another way of saying if they don't receive you, forget them. Let them stay that way. So, but anyway, people, they talk about me. They don't like the fact that I play music before I come on or whatever. If I want to play music before I come on, whose business is that? But that song that, what's her name? Bessie Smith. If I take an ocean to jump into the ocean, ain't nobody's business here but me. Ain't that what she said? That song is saying something, ain't it? Yeah. That's an old truth. The good that you do, it ain't for nobody but you. The evil that you do, it ain't against nobody but you. Because you the one gonna have to pay for it. You see? So the 100 Psalms, it tells you that you could expect these things. It says, make a joyful noise unto the Lord. How many continents? All ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness and come before his presence with what? Then why are you surprised that I like to play music before I come on? I tell you why you're surprised. It's because you never did believe that this word was true. You thought the Bible was a fairy tale or something. The Bible ain't no fairy tale, and it ain't no joke. It is the promises of God of what is going to take place on his planet. So I'm here with you, and I want to give those who have disagreements with me, the opportunity to tell me what your disagreement is and why you disagree. You have that right. You have a mind. And the only way that I can prove that I have the best mind is to be willing to let you express what's on your mind and show you that the thoughts that's on mine, that make up my mind, are better or greater than the thoughts that make up yours. You see? You don't know what I know. I know what you know, but you don't know what I know. For instance, you notice I know the scriptures. That means that I can understand them. Most of you have knowledge and you only have half an understanding of what you have. And I'm being what you call somewhat generous in saying that you only understand half of what you have. There's a spiritual side to all knowledge. And unless you have had a spiritual birth, you cannot understand spiritual things, which means that you're blind in one eye, you see. And so even if you understand the natural aspect of the knowledge that you have, there's a spiritual side to it that you altogether missed. And so you have no way to win an argument against me, because I know what you know not. It's just like when Yakub was 6 years old. He was a wise little 6-year-old who happened to know what his destiny was. He was playing with magnets, with the two pieces of steel. One had magnetism in it and the other one didn't have any. And he was having fun taking the one that had the magnetism and manipulating the one that didn't have any. I know what that's about. I used to take magnets out of speakers when I was a little. You know, speakers have magnets in them, and unless they done found another way to do it, you take a speaker apart, you find it's a lodestone inside of it. And as I was, I used to like to try to make nails stand up while playing with it. It always kind of fascinated me to see that power, that invisible power that magnet had, that magnetic field that you could not see, controlling a piece of metal, iron, or whatnot that didn't have any magnetism in it. And so what Yakub saw, he saw that, the messenger didn't go into depth of it. He simply said, honor like attracts. Well, that goes into a whole nother teaching. But what Yakub actually saw was that as a piece of iron or metal that has magnetism in it could control a piece that didn't have any. A man that has knowledge can control a man that has none. Do you understand? And that's what Yakub saw. That's why it was so important that as the criterion for making slaves out of us, now they're trying to enslave the whole country. But it ain't gonna work. Their time is up. But anyway, the main thing about slavery. Let me see if I can find it again. I like to. I'm looking for my William Lynch letter. I know I got it around here somewhere. I keep that around just to from time to time refer you back to it, to let you know that making slaves out of us wasn't no accident. The white man was given the knowledge of how to do it. And let's see here. Just a moment. got a copy of it. Well, anyway, you know, I wanted to quote him verbatim, but I'll find it some other time. But as he said, that the main thing about slavery is the one that you want to enslave. You must first make a fool out of it. You know, why do you call a fool a fool? You call a fool is because he's easily deceived, because he does not have much knowledge of understanding. And that is the paramount and thing that is necessary. If you want to enslave a man, you have to keep him ignorant. And then it goes into telling you about the language. You can't let him understand what language really means. And so, you know, that's why when we was growing up, you notice they only taught you that words only have one meaning, and you draw a line to what it means. And if you stayed on that level, then they could talk over your head, and you'd never could be planning your doom right in front of you, and you never know what they was talking about. And so you would think we always meant you was included. So, you know, it's always good to kind of retouch things so that people don't get the notion that what you're talking about is all you know. Do you understand? There's a whole lot of things that I know that I don't talk about. So I want you to see, you notice. I mean, you got these people going backwards thinking they're going forward. I mean, what would make a woman running for office nowadays in time talk about she would, what's her name, Miss Hyde? Miss Hyde Smith. Huh? That's her middle name? Miss Cindy Hyde Smith. Now, what would make her stand up in front of a crowd of people and tell them that she would attend a lynching? I mean, even if the person is a mass murderer, in a civilized society, you don't just immediately go and kill the person. You have a system of justice that you take them to court. You make sure that they are sane. It's a whole lot of things that you take into consideration before you go and call yourself. But when you start saying you would participate or you would go to a lynching, you've gone backwards, woman. How can you claim to be a person who believes in the rule of law while you say you would gladly attend a lynching? I mean, well, that's you know, Willie Lynch thought that by terrorism, that's what the lynch law was about. That was, you know, he thought that by you could frighten people into permanent submission. How did that work for you? Look, think of all of the hateful and frightful things you did, making mothers and children and men stand by and watch while you tarred and feathered someone who looked like them. You tar and feather a black man, you set him on fire, and you tie him between two horses, his arms and his legs, and you point the horses in different directions, and then you set the man on fire, which gonna frighten the horses. You ain't got to beat them to make them run. And that horse see that fire, he gonna keep pulling until he get loose. And and you made us watch while you did that to our people. Now that's terrorism. How did that work for you? Did it make us frightened of you forever? Did it make us scared to stand up and tell you about yourself? You will never dominate human beings through fear and terrorism. That stuff only works temporarily at best. Pretty soon people reason and they realize that being scared ain't gonna stop them from being killed. And if you're gonna die anyway, why die crying? Why not fight back? Rather than die begging someone who you is plain to see does not have a heart. For only a beast could do that to you, a thinking animal. And that's what every human being becomes when they don't have a spiritual eye. Everyone who does not have a rebirth, you can't just be born of water from your mother's womb. You have to be reborn of the Spirit, of the Word of God. Other than that, even if you don't act act out the evil thoughts that you have of what you would like to do to somebody, you still have them. And circumstances present themselves, you'd be standing up there saying just what Cindy said, I'll attend a lynching. Why she said now? Because it seemed safe to let it come out now. It was always there. But the environment was not fertile for that kind of talk. But now the environment is fertile for that kind of talk. You can talk like that now, right? Yeah. But anyway, you're going to see a lot of people dying pretty soon. Yeah. That's what you were warned. It says, in the Sabbath day, thou shalt do no work. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day shall surely be put to death. The first death is the death of your sense of reason. Even that little sense of reason that you did have, that's going to be taken from you. Yeah. Then the second death is physical. Take a man's mind from him, take a woman's mind from him, they're going to do things that's going to lead to an early grave. Do you understand? Yeah. It's just like you get drunk behind the wheel of a car. Death is riding you. When you drunk and driving, death is behind the wheel. And leave you driving long enough, I guarantee you, death gonna claim you. You understand? And when I say long enough, it don't mean it don't take no whole long time. I know. I had a brother who liked to drive drunk. one of my siblings. Got in 5 accidents. Well, he got in 4. Walked out of there without a scratch. The 5th one, he got crushed inside of the car. Drove off an overpass, and the car flipped over and on the roof and crushed him. Right there. You know, warnings don't do no good to people who don't want to straighten up. You know, it's get away once instead of saying, I'm going to correct myself. I could have been killed. No. Go do it again. Go do it again. Go do it again. What can I say? So, I thought you was a civilized person. What kind of civilized person talks about attending lynchings? Then old silly, what is the silly governor that said he didn't see what all the hoopla was about? I told you they all going crazy together. I don't care how mad you get mad. Your indignation is unjust. I'm not afraid of unjust indignation. You go and get mad. Do what you think you want to do. We'll fix you. So anyway, this is the day of judgment. What's in people got to be known. Allah have never destroyed a people that their only cry when they was destroyed was, sure, we was wrongdoers. That's what he said. Yeah. Their only cry. That's what the Holy Quran says. Let's see here. You know, when you got the job I have, you have to show people things. So in the 7th chapter of the Holy Quran, it says, the title of this is The Elevated Places. You know where the elevated places is? It is your mind inside of your brain. Do you understand? So it says in the name of Allah, and the title of it is The Opponent's Doom. As in he opposed and exalted himself above all that is called God, or in other words, that is worshipped. Huh? If he opposes it, what is he? An opponent? Opponent's doom. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I, Allah, am the best knower, the truthful. What do truthful mean? Full of truth, full of grace and truth. Huh? We beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and what? So if he's full of grace and truth, he's graceful and he's truthful. Is that right? All right. Then you see how we gracefully go through these books? Will you be going through them trying to guess at it and scratching your head, wondering what it means? Am I scratching my head trying to figure out what it means? Or am I proving what it means as I'm saying? And it says, a book revealed to who? Take the book, son of man, and eat it up. Well, if he told me to eat the book up, he meant that he gonna reveal it to me. Is that right? A book revealed to thee. So let there be no straightness in thy breast concerning it. Straightness means lack of knowledge of it. When people fall into straits, that means they lack money. Is that right? They ain't got enough money to deal with what's happening. They say, man, I'm in straits right now. Is that right? Okay. It says, so let there be no straightness in thy breast concerning the book, that thou mayest warn thereby. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them what? That thou mayest warn thereby. And a reminder to the believers. Yes, sir. Believers in what? Everybody that believes in all of the scriptures, in all of the prophets and in all of their scriptures. Well, who don't believe in it? Old fools and slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have written or have spoken. Huh? Okay. So it says, follow what has been revealed to you from your Lord, and follow not besides him any guardians. Little do you mind. Think over that. Who's revealing the scriptures to you? The Son of Man standing here talking to you. No one knows who the Father is but the Son, and he to whom the Son will do what? Reveal him. Follow then. Follow what has been revealed to you from your Lord. And I am your Lord. And follow not besides him any guardians. Little do you mind. And how many a town have we destroyed, so our punishment came to it by night, or while they slept at midday, while they was unaware, at midday. Yet their cry when our punishment came to them was nothing but they said, surely we was what? We was wrongdoers. You know what happened when you tell somebody they go to court and they call it an arraignment. Is that right? Why is it called an arraignment? Because when you see horses that's out of control and running, somebody will say, rein them in. Is that right? Is that right? You holding the reins, rein them in. Is that right? Well, this is the rule of law. Everybody is under the reins of the law in America. And so you've been out there doing something that's unlawful, and so they rein you in. Is that right? See, ain't nobody never talked to you like that. We gave them language. They didn't give it to us. Literally, I done forgotten more about the English language than you will ever know. But it's coming back to me. Praise is due to Allah. See, this is Allah's way of, as he says, I'm the sign. There's no sign shall be given unto them but the sign of the Son of Man, the sign of the prophet Jonas. for he was in the part of the whale, the belly of the whale, for 3 days and 3 nights. And he came out and began preaching. And people began repenting as Jonah started preaching. You see people repenting? You heard me talking to a man that claimed to be an atheist. And he said, you gave me a lot to think about. Huh? I haven't met with no atheist yet that I couldn't take and change his mind. If he talked to me, he won't be an atheist after he get through talking to me, because he wasn't no atheist before. It's impossible to live on this earth, to live in this universe, and talk about you don't believe in God. That's because you don't know what you're saying. Now, if that ain't so, how come the atheist society ain't coming in here asking me for that $20,000? I just said it's impossible for you to claim you don't believe in God and live in this universe. The only way you could claim that is because you don't know who God is. Do you understand? Because once the reality of God is shared with you, you feel like a fool talking about I'm an atheist. Because everybody know you lying. You was mistaken before I spoke to you. But after I speak to you, you just outright lie to say you don't believe in God. Now, who besides me could ever stand up and say something like that? Well, it says, then certainly, we shall question those to whom messengers were sent, and we shall question the messengers. Think over that. He shall judge the quick and the dead. Huh? If we're going to question the ones that the messenger spoke to and question the messenger, well, the messenger was the one that was living, that could understand some of what we gave him. And those who he was sent to, those are the dead, until the messenger speak to them and we come and raise them. Huh? So I'm here to judge both. I question both. Just like the lie you've been telling on Jesus. Remember the man asked me, was I the second coming? And I told him, I ain't never been here before. What do you mean second coming? And when did Jesus tell you I'll be back the second time? You ain't found Jesus telling you he was coming back no second time to teach you nothing. Jesus said, Father, I have finished the work that you gave me to do. And now, Holy Father, I come to thee. Another place, he said, it's expedient for you that I go away. He didn't say it's expedient for you that I go away and so I can come back next time. No, sir. He said, for if I go not away, the Comforter will not come. But if I depart, I will send him unto you. And when he is come, he will reprove the world of sin and of righteousness and of judgment. Of sin, because they believe not on me. Of righteousness, because I go to my Father. And you see me no more. Now, what's all this talking about? You can't wait till you see Jesus again. You liars. So Jesus already told me you lying on him. His words condemn the lie you've been telling. Well, Jesus, did you come to die for the people? Jesus said, he says, To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the Spirit of truth. He ain't say nothing about coming to die for nobody. He said, did not Moses give you the law? Yet none of you keepeth the law. Why are you going around trying to kill me? Then they lied and said they wasn't trying to do that. Huh? Now you see why I don't none of these scholars want to come in here and talk with me. I got his name and number. Do you understand? Yeah. So it said, then surely we shall relate to them with knowledge. And we are never absent. Think over that. We shall relate to them with knowledge. And we are never absent. Why? Because when we are absent from the body, we'll be present with who? With the Lord. Huh? And now they ain't never absent. Long as I'm here, all of the holy angels is here with me. Now, if that ain't so, I owe you $20,000. Come on in here and collect it. First, prove that the holy angels ain't with me. Come on. This your chance. Get your council together. I'll let the whole council of you, team up on me. You know how wolves do, they team up on the little sheep. You remember? Huh? That's how they hunt. Well, one got him in the front, the other one biting him from behind, right? Come on, see if you can team up on the Son of Man. I remember when they was asking Roy about going to the sun, he said he went at night. That's what they said. Well, see, they didn't know what Roy was talking about. But when he came to visit me, it was nighttime. But anyway, let's go a little further. I'm not lying. I met him up in Jackson. It was night. Then we went to somebody up in Vicksburg, a sister, sister's house, or brother's house, and we sit there a while and talk. Then the next day, Roy and them came and visit me here. But I met him and Abbas Rasul up in Jackson, and it was night. I forgot who rode up there with me, and I rode. Which one of y'all went up there with me? Maybe it was Brother Calvin or somebody. But anyway, when I got up there, I just let the brother take the vehicle, and I rode with Roy and them. And we started talking and whatnot. And then I examined him a little bit, and I told him, I said, brother, you're not what you think you are. And at that time, I didn't know what he thought he was, but I knew I knew that Abbas Rasul was speaking so highly of him. He said, it's a brother with me that can answer any question you ask him. And I said, oh, here we go. And so I asked him about the parable of the leaven. And he said, what? I said, explain the parable of the leaven. And I said, a woman, the kingdom of heaven is like a leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of milk. And he said, oh, yeah, leaven is yeast. And he got that part right. And then he started talking about something that was way out. And I said, I just, let him finish. And I said, well, brother, you're not what you think you are. And then I left it alone. And then we started talking about some other things. But anyway, I don't forget what small talk. I ain't good at small talk. But anyway, I just, And judging, it says, then surely we shall relate to them with knowledge. Am I relating to you with knowledge? Huh? I'm talking to everybody on the phone. How many of y'all say I'm not relating to you with knowledge? That means that the things that I speak to you, I speak as one that understands what he's saying, and not somebody who just making up something as he go. I'm relating to you with knowledge of what I'm talking about. As Jesus said, we know what we worship. We have knowledge of what we are worshiping. We relate to you with knowledge. Huh? That's why we don't, it's like a brother called me yesterday. And when the phone didn't ring but a couple of times or whatnot, and I saw that number in there, I said, let me call him back. I kind of figured they might have had wanted to call me and then got cold feet or whatever. And so I called them. And the brother told me he wanted to be one of my followers. And so I told him he wanted to know if I had some temples that were close to him. And so I told him, you take these conference numbers down and you sit and follow me. You can start following along with me from right there in your living room. And he said, yeah. I say, yeah. And that's written. The scriptures teach you that. Let me go here and show you. In the 24th chapter of Matthew, and this is the This is the 23rd verse. It says, then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs. Now, in order to understand that, you have to go get the definition of Christ. Now, you go over to Romans 12 and 12. It's written. It says, for as the body, just let me make sure that's where we, no, that's 1 Corinthians, wasn't it? 1 Corinthians 12 and 12. I'm sorry. That didn't even sound right to me when I said, wait a minute. That ain't it. Okay. 1 Corinthians, the 12th chapter and the 12th verse. I didn't say 1 Corinthians. I said 1 Corinthians. It says, for as the body is one and hath many members, and all the members of that one body being many are one body, so also is Christ. Well, then, when we say Christ, we are not talking about one anointed man. We are talking about all of the anointed collectively. Do you understand? When we say the Christ, we are talking about one individual, one who is anointed. But when you just say Christ, that covers all of them. You understand? All right. So the book says, many false Christs. It says, there shall arise false Christs. False bodies of people, like the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Baptists, the people who run the Baptist Association, the Methodist Association, the Episcopal Association, the Mormons, all of these groups that have hierarchies that determine what the beliefs and the practices are of that particular denomination of what they call Christianity. Each group is a Christ, a body that teaches others, that sends members of that body out to teach people. You understand? Like the prophets, they were a body, but all of the prophets didn't go to the same people. They went throughout the earth. To every nation, messengers have been sent. Do you understand? Okay. Now, you notice, ain't nobody arguing with me. This forum is open. All you have to do is press *6. Told you I was going to stop your mouth. Now, I also told you some other things. Remember, I told you I'm going to pay you back one day. That's still out there. I just ain't got around to it yet. But you gonna answer for how you acted with me. So you better hurry up and repent before it's too late. If a white man in Mississippi had sense enough to call me and publicly, as he acted a fool with me in public, he came out in the public and apologized to me. And I forgave him. And I ain't hear no more disrespect from him. So I wish him and his loved ones, I wish all of them well. Now he can rest. As he said, he just seemed like he couldn't rest until he called me and told me that. You ain't never gonna have no peace disrespecting me. So it says, for there shall arise false Christ, Sunni Muslim, Shiite Muslim, all these sects that done cropped up. And if you ask them, show me where the Holy Quran, Abraham named us Sunni or Shiite or Hanafi or all of these Mujahideen and all of these cults, these sects that you call sects of Islam, Muslims, and all of you teaching something different. Show me where the Holy Quran says that we're supposed to break our religion up into and become parties and sects. The Holy Quran says the jinn does that. So, got all these false Christs out here. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets from those, false preachers from those Christs, those bodies that claim they are a body that represents the word of God. And shall show great signs and wonders, in so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. They deceive the Son of Man himself. You know why I'm called the elect? It's because Allah have chosen me, but he have not completely installed me as the head of the whole planet. We still trying to reach as many people as we can before the destruction is brought down on all those who refuse to submit. We're still giving everybody a chance. But anyway, as the book says, behold my servant whom I uphold, mine elect. I'm the elect. How you know? Because I'm the only one that understands the Holy Scriptures. And if our Lord wasn't the one that gave me the understanding of it, it ain't no way I could understand it. You find many things that I'm saying that you could argue with. Find something in the Holy Scriptures that tells you that something that I said is not true. I can find plenty in there that show me that things you've been saying ain't true. Show me one thing that the Scripture said that contradicts anything I say. What's that? That's the sound of silence. And you know why people are silent when you speaking on something as controversial as religion, that usually they argue about? They are silent because that is their admission that everything that you are saying makes nothing but total sense to them. And they can't argue with you. So all they can do is shut their mouths, as the book says. The kings of the earth shall shut their mouths at him. Then it says, for there shall arise, this is the 24th verse, there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold now, he said, look, I have told you before it comes to pass. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning, now, while you right here, put an E in between the T and the N on lightning. It should be spelled lightening. And as you do that, then it will help you to understand. Now, in the morning, you can do this in the morning. Go out right before sunrise. Go out there around 6 o'clock and just wait. And pretty soon you will see look to the east and look to the west. And then just turn back to the east and just keep looking. And it'll look like somebody hitting a dimmer switch and gradually turning up the light. And you'll see the sky start lightening up in the east while the west is still dark. You understand? As the lightning cometh out of the east and shineth all the way to the west eventually. It says, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Son should have been spelled S-U-N. Why we say it should have been spelled S-U-N is because over in Malachi, it corrects that. In the book of Malachi, the 4th chapter, in the 2nd verse, it says, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son, S-U-N, of righteousness arise with healing. Well, if the Son of righteousness shall arise, it is because it's compared to the sun out there that rises from the east and shines to the west. As the lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. And that's why you don't have to leave your house now, because You know, I know they thought that this was their idea, you know, to conference lines and all of that kind of thing. But Allah is the one that set these conference lines up using you so that I could teach the whole world. Allah is the one that set up the internet. The kingdom of heaven is like unto a net which men cast in, a great net, the internet. And now I can talk to the whole world at once. These technological advances wasn't put there for you. They was put there for me to use. All things were made by him, for him. That's written. And if you try to take any of it away, Allah will take you away. Yeah. That's what'll happen. You were told not to try to intercede or try to impede me. You ain't got no business trying to fight me on nothing. Your wretched self. Look what you wind up doing without my guidance. Electing a man like Donald Trump to be president of the United States. I warned you. Before you did it, I warned you. You do not send a baby into an arena where grown people are dealing. Whether you like it or not, you created a political process. You created politics. Then whether you like it or not, you don't send it. Everybody done been participating in this political process. They know how it goes. Why would you send a totally ignorant man to participate with people who knows all about politics? I told you were sending a child to do a man's job. You had a qualified lady who knew about politics, who knew how to handle the political arena and all that polite stuff that you got to know in order to get something accomplished. You also have to know when somebody is gaming. You have to know how to approach it without doing harm to yourself or your nation. You sent a totally ignorant man into an arena that requires knowledge, requires know-how. A man that understands nothing about using the minds of other people around him. A president has to know how to use advisors. He has to know that he needs to surround himself with knowledgeable people. Why? Because no man knows everything. It's not necessary for you to know everything, but it is necessary to know how to find out what you don't know. You can judge the wisdom of any leader by who he surrounds himself with. What type of people are around him? What type of people are attracted to him to want to be around him? There's an old saying, birds of a feather. They flock together. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. You will never find hardworking people following a lazy man. But you will find people who want something for nothing following a lazy man who also wants something for nothing. Every time you look up, somebody in that cabinet stealing from the American people. Wanting a free ride. Am I lying or telling the truth? That man wastes money for the American government just like he wasted money in his businesses. Let me show you. I know you don't like this, but it's the truth. I'm going to let you see what kind of fella you got. You know, you.
On the fight to contain the deadly wildfires across California that are burning out of control. Tens of thousands of people have been forced from their homes and hundreds are missing. We're live in Southern California where you're watching Belshing Rule on MSNBC.
Now you notice he ain't visiting none of these disaster areas in his own country because he could give less than a damn about you. But you chose him because he hate black people like you. I told you a person that have hatred in their heart cannot love anybody. You cannot, I mean, you think, what you think? You're going to violate the laws of physics? No two objects may occupy the exact same space at the exact same time. I don't have to have the greatest feelings of love for white people in order to treat them like I want to be treated. I just choose not to house hatred because I'm no use to anyone with a heart full of hatred. So I choose to love my people. And then everything I do it with my people in mind. And how is it going to affect my people if I do this? If I mistreat white people, how's that going to affect my people? It's going to make them want to mistreat my people justifiably. It's not that they haven't been mistreating us, yet they've already been mistreating us unjustifiably. But just maybe I can quell that a little bit by showing them how ugly they look doing to us in the eyes of the world what it is plain to see we did not do to them. But either way, it's going to stop because they were given 6,000 years to do all of that evil. And that 6,000 year period was up in 1914, and they were given 60 years extension. And that was up in 1974. And now The only thing that's holding up your destruction is me. That's why it's written that by the grace of thy Lord, thou art not mad, meaning insane. But grace is about to run out. I'm just about sick of you. Right? And all you who look like me, that think so little of yourself, that's why you don't think nothing of me, because you don't think nothing of yourself. Still walking around here being what the white man made you, a homegrown, homeborn slave that don't want to change, don't want nothing better. You better hurry up and make up your mind to change, man. But anyway, let's watch this.
For a pharmacist for a senior flu to consume buildings. There are cars that are pushed up against the left lane. You see that on the top left side of your screen, or now at the bottom of your screen. They're trying to keep as far away from that fire as possible. Look at that. As you go further up that highway, before the flames start to lift the sides of the highway, there is traffic on all lanes. They're all trying to merge toward the left lane to continue to go down toward the bottom of the screen. There's not a lot of brush on the other side of the highway, which is a good thing, because those flames can jump across many lanes of traffic. Ashes that get blown by winds. You can see from the formation of the smoke that there are winds in the area and it's being blown. This is Ventura County, California, a big traffic jam headed on the left side of your screen, headed down, and you can see why that's a problem, because if it starts to engulf the pavement and the asphalt, that becomes a problem for those cars that are on the wrong side of this fire. So that is the kind of thing you're seeing in 4 different fires across California. These are helicopter shots of Ventura County. That fire is burning everything. There's not a lot of brush there to actually burn, and it is getting every last piece of it. It's taking telephone poles, it's taking building structures. This is kind of remarkable. There you go. There's a dowser right there going in, trying to, look at that. That's a good impression of what happens. That's a dowser. That's a helicopter who is able to dump water or fire suppressant. What does that take? A second before it's out of ammunition, and it has to go back and reload. Now you're looking at flames and fires at the sides of Rhode Island across that state, cutting off highways, areas where there's one main road in or out. And that is what California is suffering right now. You can see on the right side of your screen, those are residential areas. So that is the kind of problem that California is suffering. It is dry, it is parched, and those flames are consuming everything around them, including oxygen. You heard there's another aircraft there. We didn't see it now, so it may be going back for a pickup. You have heard the stories of the people who are getting trapped in their cars, and then bulldozers coming in to move cars out of the way so that fire trucks and rescue teams can actually get out to help people. It is remarkable. NBC's Kathy Park is live in Westlake Village, which is just north of Los Angeles. Looks relatively clear where you are, Kathy. What's the situation, especially as it pertains to these evacuation orders?
Well, Allie, we are still in an evacuation area. It's still blocked off from residents, but we have seen some folks just kind of taking in the devastation. You mentioned we are in the community of Westlake Village, and this entire block has been gutted out by the Woolsey fire. And if you see over the canyon there, it's all black. That's also from the Woolsey fire, the most recent fire. But the biggest challenge today for firefighters are these strong Santa Ana winds. These gusts continue to pick up throughout the day, and that could fan this intensive fire, which is still very active. Some new numbers to pass along. 370 structures destroyed, only 20% containment. But as you mentioned, firefighters are fighting this fire from the air as well as on the ground. But the situation is very dynamic and dangerous. Allie?
Kathy, 370 structures. This is in that particular fire or in the county you're located in?
Yeah, the Woolsey fire, that is the number that they put out. But, you know, these numbers continue to change as firefighters, you know, the priority right now saving lives, obviously, but structures as well. But as they come into these communities and get a better count of what has been destroyed, we've noticed in the past couple of hours that the numbers continue to grow.
We also know that in Malibu, which is under evacuation, several houses have already been lost there. You got the latest on that?
Yeah, so I was actually in Malibu on Saturday, and a similar scene, very similar to what we're seeing right now. A lot of celebrities own homes in Malibu. So Gerard Butler, as well as Miley Cyrus, tweeting out today that their homes are completely destroyed. Believe it or not, a lot of animals were evacuated.
You remember I told you that in the richest nation on earth, you got no business with people eating out of garbage cans and sleeping under cardboard boxes and all of that kind of thing. And you turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to that. Now who's homeless? Do you think you can just ignore the poor, off of whom you got rich? And you know what really manifests how poor you are? It's not what you have in your hand, tangible things. It's what you fail to have in the way of compassion and love for other people and empathy and sympathy for others. Who is that pushing buttons? You got something you want to say? Someone with their phone unmuted? What is it that you want to say? What is it? Are you there? What's the number? Oh, okay. Well, if you're planning on saying something crazy, you better drop out. But I'm telling you, you're not going to get away with ignoring the poor. You're not going to get away with, after God gave you so much and you had a chance to share some of what you were given with others, you chose not to. Okay.
Well, it's on Zuma Beach, and a lot of the horses were corralled on that beach because they had nowhere else to go. So this is a situation that's affecting a lot of people, a lot of animals as well.
All right, Kathy, thanks very much. Kathy Park for us in Westlake Village. That's part of the Woolsey fire. Let's take a look at north of that, north of Malibu in Ventura County. These are the live pictures that we're looking at. This is what we're focused on at the moment. There is a lot of forested area just north of this, so there is some danger of this hitting forested area and then becoming yet more deadly than it is. But as it looks, as we're looking at it right now, it looks ready. That fire looks ready to overtake the freeway that we're looking at right now. We were seeing cars sort of trying to get away from that fire, but the winds are heavy. You can see from the pattern of the smoke that the winds are blowing from the left of your screen over to the right of your screen, and that's where it intersects that highway, where this could potentially be a big problem for all those drivers that are on the right-hand side of your screen up on top. You can't really see that as clearly. That is what we're looking at. This is the Woolsey fire. So you see the bottom of that is Malibu. The top of it is, well, it's not really Thousand Oaks. Thousand Oaks is in the middle of it, but there's a whole lot of forested area in there. So there's a lot of brush, dry brush for that fire to consume. You see a helicopter again on the left side of the screen going in there. They're going in to dump water or fire suppressant. But you can see that this has entered into residential areas on the right side of your screen. We're continuing to cover the 4 fires that are causing a lot of death and devastation in California. On Veterans Day, about 5,600 troops are stationed at the U.S.-Mexico border. President Trump wants them there to keep out asylum-seeking migrants. I'm going to break down some details of this operation next. You're watching Bell Should Rule Live. On MSNBC, more Americans watch NBC News.
This is what I wanted to show you about his wasting of money. Now, watch this.
Any other news organization in the world. All right, with the midterms over, the president has moved on from his dire warnings about the migrant caravan, which is still hundreds of miles from the U.S. border. But the deployment he ordered still stands, and there are consequences to the president's military decision. So far, about 5,600 troops are deployed to the border. Their mission is lightly defined, since the president said they would be there to repel the caravan. The law, however, prohibits them from interacting with the migrants. So they're spread out across Texas, Arizona, and California in the field, but they're not eligible for extra pay because they're not actually facing enemy fire because the migrants don't have any of that. The deployment, which the president warned could include upward of 15,000 troops. He tended to push that up higher and higher as the election got closer. Defense officials tell CNBC it could cost more than $220 million. This is important because, for reference, the so-called tremendously expensive military exercises that the president suspended with South Korea would have cost $14 million.
There you go. You see, I mean, all you have to do is just look at this man. The only way you could support him is you don't give a damn about the United States. You ain't fooling me. You ain't fooling nobody but your wicked self. That's why you riding around here flying that rebel flag. That if the ones who was flying that flag had won what you call the Civil War, the Stars and Stripes wouldn't be flying in a country called United States of America, because there would be no United States of America. So why are you flying that flag if you're so patriotic? You look like a fool to complain about the flag I have right up beside the Stars and Stripes. Because the flag that I have is the sun, moon, and star, and it's over everybody's house. Bunch of wicked devils, man. That's all. Just a bunch of devils. So, I'm going to, but that sums it up right there. He was hollering at the thing with South Korea was $14 million. That's costing too much for them to run those kind of exercises. But he spends $220 million to waste troops down on the southern border to do what? To prevent people from immigrating to America? Oh, man. So I'm going to go on and move on for a minute. You know how he claimed he cares so much about veterans and all that stuff? Huh? Tell that lie. Let me show you something else.
It's that the Democratic Party is...
Give me a minute. 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 Give me
President Trump traveled 3,800 miles to Paris for ceremonies marking the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I. But when he was expected at an American cemetery just 50 miles from Paris on Saturday, it was a no-show because it was raining. White House said his helicopter was grounded due to the weather, so rather than get there by a motorcade, the president sat out the weather at the American ambassador's residence in Paris, while his chief of staff, John Kelly, and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff honored those fallen Americans. President Trump's failure to show up prompted widespread.
Look how that makes General Kelly look. Remember when he insulted that black woman? Now who's being insulted? Didn't I tell you that a person whose heart is filled with hatred cannot love anyone? Didn't I tell you that? It's like, I mean, did you say, I mean, this is something that I shouldn't have to tell you. You done seen some of the same things that bore that out. White people know that. I know the movie industry show knows it. You saw Star Wars. You saw Darth Vader. You saw the Emperor. Who did the Emperor care about? Did he love Darth Vader? He only cared to use you, and when he can't use you no more, what did he tell? You remember when, how many of y'all saw, you remember when Anakin was a youngster and he was, you know, the Emperor was converting him, and he came up with Count Dooku. You remember Dooku was Vader's number 2 man. I mean, the Emperor's number 2 man. Remember that? Okay. What happened when Anakin got the ups on Dooku? What did the Emperor tell him to do? Do it. Remember? And Luke said, I can't. Anakin said, I can't. He said, do it. He cut his head off, right? He said, do it and take your place at my side. Right? Anakin ain't had sense enough to realize that it'd be the same for him. When the Emperor finds somebody else, he'll tell him to kill him and take his place. The man don't care nothing about nobody. I mean, they showed you that. I mean, they know this. They know that man don't care nothing about nobody but himself. And what you can do for him. How come ain't none of the people who following him, how come they ain't saying nothing? You know what he offers to those people that support him? Well, if a man like him can be president, so can who? So can I, right? And so they support him for that reason. They have many reasons they support him. Because he justifies their wickedness. Don't you know ain't no way that if I heard you talking about me like I'm talking about you and had an open forum, I would come in there and have a discussion with you and ask you, what is this you saying about me and the man that I support? I support him because of this and that and this and that and this. How come they don't come in here and defend him? Them people ain't thinking about Donald Trump. They don't care no more about Donald Trump than they do anybody else. It's just that he's pushing an agenda they like, and so he going their way. When you hitchhiking, do you care who stopped to pick you up? Long as they going your way, you satisfied with them, ain't you? Yeah. You remember what he called the Democrats? He called those who are Democrats. He called them the Democratic mob. Remember that? He was projecting. That's what these people that have hijacked the Republican Party are. They ain't nothing but a mob. Matter of fact, they like that fire that you just saw. Just leaving a path of destruction behind them. That's all. So, but watch this.
Ridicule from Winston Churchill's grandson calling it pathetic and inadequate. The French army tweeting that rain is their Monday motivation. The American president had other opportunities, like the solemn stroll of world leaders to the Arc de Triomphe on Sunday, a procession that he missed. He showed up to the ceremony separately. And then there was the event at another American cemetery in the suburbs of Paris, where he made snarky comments about the weather while welcoming veterans and honored guests.
Frank DeVita. Thank you, Frank. Thank you very much. You look so comfortable up there under shelter as we're getting drenched. You're very smart people.
Coming with the rain. The president returned to the United States, and today, when Veterans Day is observed, a day when presidents traditionally visit Arlington National Cemetery to pay respects on behalf of the nation, President Trump, who had literally nothing on his official public schedule, decided to stay at home and tweet about stopping the vote in Florida instead. Congressman Ruben Gallego of Arizona, an Iraq War veteran, member of the House Armed Services Committee, joins me now. What do you make of the last 48 hours in the president's observances?
I mean, how are we still surprised about this? This man started this election by denigrating the service of John McCain and other POWs. We see what he's doing with our troops at the border, essentially using them as props. He attacked a Gold Star family. The president likes to use the troops for his political gain, but when it comes to personal sacrifice or any type of effort on his part, he won't go that extra mile. And thank God our military is not anything like that man is.
You just mentioned the troops are at the border, 5,000 of them. There's some reporting on what they're actually doing. They're reading MREs. They're in tents, 20 inside a tent, and they're 800 miles from the caravan, and they're not even near Tijuana where they're currently going to enter. Like, those are real people who are really doing this. It's not just some abstract symbol. What do you think about it?
Well, look, I've been activated and sent to a base for a whole year. At that point, it really does disrupt your life. We just disrupted many people's lives. We took away from their families. We're taking away for Thanksgiving. And all of a sudden, the president stopped talking about the caravan. Why did the president stop talking about the caravan? Because the election's over. So this is a stunt. It's costing us potentially $200 million for this stunt. I think we all agree that we need more border security. We all agree that if you want to apply for asylum, you need to do it in a legal and safe manner. But the president should actually lead an effort to do that, to work with our southern neighbors, and even to work with us to actually come up with a solution, not just use our political troops as a stunt, and actually focus on really trying to help them out.
I want to ask you this about the story I asked Senator Gillibrand about this GI benefit screw up. Ongoing IT issues at VA. This is to be kind of a train wreck. That's what Phil Rowe said, the chairman of the House Committee on Veterans Affairs. You got folks who cannot make their house payments or rental payments because of this. Why? How is this happening?
Well, look, as a recipient of the GI Bill, this actually also happened to me as a younger man, and once in a while I just did not get my payment.
Wow.
And luckily I had a school that was very lenient, and they understood, and they gave me some time, so I got paid. But what happens right now is, the president is not focused on the VA. The VA is not really being run by the VA administrators, by a group of men and women that are meeting down at Mar-a-Lago.
How can you expect that man who don't care about it? It's evident that he don't care about America. That's why he keep dividing you and keep division going, to keep you fighting amongst yourself. What make you think he cares something about the military when he don't care nothing about your health? I mean, in order to have a strong army, you got to have healthy people. And he been trying his best to undermine the healthcare system Him and them crooks that's up there in Congress, in the Senate, and in the House of Representatives. All them crooks that was helping him. Mr. Mueller need to, and the FBI need to go in there and arrest every one of them, starting with him. And then just arrest everybody who took part in it, because all of them have been committing treason. You don't care nothing about the United States. If you did, you wouldn't be trying to make America weak. You wouldn't be trying to make the country weak. It's an old truth that a house divided against itself cannot stand. Well, then why is he trying to divide the American people against each other? Huh? I mean, even the people that's trying to come here, they want to be Americans. Huh? Well, that's against what he wants. They don't want America to be strong. They don't want there to be a United States. That's why they're trying to disunite you with they buy up, they done bought up. Look what they did in the over the past years. They made propaganda legal, where it used to be illegal to get on the airways and purposely purposely lie and give false news to the American people. That's why reporters used to have to go and get evidence and get proof of what they were saying, and then they could make the report, right? So that the American people could trust what was. Look, always remember, one of the main props for any nation of people to remain united is that they have to be able to trust one another. If you can get them to start distrusting each other, you can get them to self-destruct. Huh? Oh, yeah. What is division? It's a shortcut to subtraction. Huh? If you have a strong nation, you have a united nation. If you can put them one against the other, then you can make them weak overnight. That's right. So in the William Lynch thing, it said how to keep us down. He said, put the old Negro against the young Negro, and put the young Negro against the old Negro, and put the female against the male, and put the male against the female, and put the light-skinned one against the dark-skinned one, and put the dark-skinned one against the light-skinned one. You got to make them both hate each other. You understand? And they perfected that on us, and now they're just taking it to another level. They put the southern one against the northern one, the eastern one against the western one. Just keep putting them all against each other. Yeah. Next thing you know, this government will implode. Yeah. Running that same game. I told you, once you give in, once you surrender to hatred, the dark side of character that's in every human being, every one of us has a dark side. But once you surrender to that darkness, then forever it will motivate your actions and your deeds. And everything that you do will be motivated from that dark side of you. Do you understand? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I offered you $20,000 if you can prove that I'm teaching something that's not true. I told you, you better wake up before you sleep forever. All right? Don't say I didn't warn you. Now, it's time for me to go into the theology of time. Because you know everything. Can't nobody tell you nothing. So ain't no sense in me keep on standing up here trying. But now I'm going to I'm going to go on into this with you. This is the theology of time. You've heard it before. Now you're going to hear it again. And I want you to listen carefully.
We want to thank you, whom the Secretary has called, for visiting us here this afternoon. We hope that you will enjoy yourself, and that we're going to do all we possibly can to get over to you all that we can, so that when you leave here, you will have some knowledge of us and our presence in the world. In fact about it, this is what we are here for, to get over to you and acquaint with you of that which God has sent to you through me. We want to get acquainted so fast until we are nervous. Our acquaintance means much. For a long time, 40 years, I have been among you, sounding this kind of a trumpet. So there was an end to Noah sounding his trumpet in his day and time. There was an end to Abraham and Lot sounding their trumpet in Sodom and Gomorrah. People at that time, and also came an end to Moses and Aaron sounding their trumpet to Pharaoh and his people. These kind of trumpets is the mouth of men and the words proceeding from their mouth. These are the first trumpets that sound, called an easy sound, because they come from man's mouth. The other trumpet is not heard directly from the mouth. It passes through some mechanical instrument. That's the kind of trumpet I'm warning you to be aware of. They are lifting it up now.
So as you can see, you're not just hearing the word from my mouth. You're hearing it through the mechanical instrument called the internet and computer and telephones. And he told you he was warning you of that trumpet and that they was linking it up. And he said, that's the one I'm warning you to be aware of. Well, I'm here now. And I'm I've tried my best to reach you and give you as much opportunity to help yourself and to save yourself as I could. I'm going to let this go into this, I should say, more. I think I'm gonna play this whole lecture that the messenger gave, because it's much that he said in there that not only bear me witness, for all of them bear me witness, but it's much in there that he said that now that I have your attention, I'm going to let you hear to try to help you to understand that you don't want to fight me. You better try to listen to me and give heed to what I'm telling you. You better try to follow me. I'm warning you, when the day come, ain't gonna be no more feeling sorry for you. It's just like even now, as I think about how, and I loved my older brother, and he was the eldest. But when he finally killed himself and him driving drunk, I didn't shed no tears. I couldn't. I mean, it wasn't like I was thinking, well, like I'm thinking now. I wasn't thinking like that. It's just that I couldn't cry. Something in me just wouldn't let me shed no tears. I remember all of the things that I saw happen with him, coming home drunk, and my daddy getting on him, and he there tussling with my daddy and whatnot. He never raised his hand to him, but that's enough. You coming in your daddy's house drunk, and he told you not to do that, and that kind of thing. It just, I grew up watching a lot of stuff. And I see the truth of what the scripture says. It says, honor your father and your mother that your days may be long. His days got cut short by his dishonor of his parents. I'm so thankful to Allah that he made me go down a different path. I may have started down that path, but I stopped. And I'm glad I did. It's really sad when parents have to bury their own children. But you're not going to make no lie out of God. You just ain't going to do it. If he say, honor your father and your mother that your days may be long, then if you dishonor them, your days going to be short. And as far as you white people, you got the greatest country on earth. America is one of, if not, but I believe it's the greatest nation on earth up to now. And you about to lose it. Simply because you want to keep dishonoring your father and your mother. You know that I'll tell you what, come in here and prove that the black man and woman is not your father and mother. Come in here and tell me that you didn't come from black people, and stay on that phone. Who gave you dominion over everything? You think the one who gave it to you can't take it back? Well, you about to find out that you're wrong. Yeah, we can take it back. Now, you got a choice. You can listen to me and change, and I will help you keep on growing into perfection. But if you want to try to fight me and stop me, I'll just let you go crazy. Let you stop yourself. You don't know how close you are to oblivion. Okay. Now, I'm going to leave it alone for now. And Wednesday, if it pleases Allah, remind me to start with the theology of time. And it's dated, if you want to go listen to it ahead of time, those of you who have it, it's dated July 30th, 1972. And that's the one that I'm going to be playing. July 30th, 1972. Yes. Man did all that lying like he cared about the veterans, and look how he acted. I'm a veteran of the Vietnam War. Now, the one thing that I got sense enough to know, when somebody care about me and when they don't. Of course, if you ain't never cared about nobody, you don't know when nobody care nothing about you. Because you don't recognize the deeds and the actions. But when you've cared about someone, then you know good and well, you know immediately when you're dealing with somebody if they care something about you or if they don't. Because you know what caring about people will make you want to do. Do you understand? Yeah. You see? Here, most of the people that's up there clapping for Donald Trump could give less than a damn about him. He ain't thinking about them people. Well, it's rich. I mean, I just, I look at these things. That's the one thing you learn from even looking at The Godfather. I mean, they care about you until you disagree with them, and then they bump you off. And it's just, That's the answer to everybody that disagree with them. And that's how the ones who was in their circle, they bumped them off. You remember the man that played fish? You remember he was trying to help set up Michael? He was going to help him set up Michael, right? And he had been knowing Michael for how long? Since he was a youngster, huh? But he was going to help him kill him. And then they found out and he got killed. But ain't nobody loyal to nobody. Huh? Loyalty ain't love. It just looks like love, but it ain't. Loyalty is not a motivator. Love is a motivator to produce loyalty. But you can buy loyalty. It just ain't the same as the loyalty that's produced by love. But it looks like the same thing. Do you understand? But it ain't. A mercenary is loyal to the one who pays him. But if he have to choose loyalty to the one who pays him his life, well, the one who pays him loses. Do you understand? Because he's not going to, as Jesus said, he said, the hireling, the mercenary, when he see the wolf coming, he fleeth, because the sheep are not his. But the good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. Huh? There you go. See? And every good shepherd said the same thing. Surely my prayers, my sacrifices, my life and my death, all for Allah. How you know Jesus said that? He said, Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me, but not my will. Thy will be done. Huh? He can do like Peter. Lord, I'll give my life for you. That's true. What happened when it came time to get you tried on that? Man, I told you I don't know him. Is that right? Yeah, he started denying him, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Of course, Jesus knew it. He just got sick of Peter sitting up there talking about what he do. Lord, I love you. Yeah, Lord, Jesus told me, man, you're going to deny me 3 times for the cock crow in the morning. Huh? And you would have thought that would have showed them. It's just like what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told Minister Farrakhan. Now that he done did what the messenger told him he was going to do, he still ain't got sense enough to repent. And the messenger told him. He said, yes, he's very well known, all right, so that when he turns hypocrite on me, the whole world will see him. Since when do you get up and tell Muslims that they need to go and to L. Ron Hubbard and check out Scientology so that it can help us to understand Islam better? How do you go to falsehood to understand the truth better? But that's what he stood up and said. I don't need L. Ron Hubbard and nobody else to help me understand Allah's word better. Allah said he sent down the word and the book. He said he sent it down fully explained. Do that sound like he didn't say I sent it down and see L. Ron Hubbard and he will help you? No, sir. Islam don't need no outside help. Otherwise, Allah didn't complete his favor. This day, the Sabbath day, I have completed my favor to you. What is that? A messenger shall come to you, verifying that which is with you. You shall believe in him and you shall aid him. In the day that the Sabbath angel shall sound the mystery, as the prophet said, we speak the word of God in a mystery. Huh? But in the day that the 7th angel, the angel of the Sabbath day, the messenger of the covenant, in that day that he shall sound, the mystery of God shall be finished, as he promised his servants, the prophets. I'm speaking it. I'm speaking now in the 7th day, and the mystery is being finished. Huh? Ain't no more mystery now. I done took all the guesswork out of it. So, ain't nothing left now but salvation and fire. That's what's left. Salvation and fire. You take your choice. Accept me and live. Reject me and perish. Any disagreement? Okay. And may Allah bless us all, keep us safe, and in our right minds. Since ain't nobody disagreeing with me, I assume everybody agrees with me. So that makes me happy. So may Allah's Assalamu alaikum.
This session is no longer being recorded. Your conference recording has stopped.